Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been wanting to tell you this story time for the longest time, but it's kind of embarrassing. You already know your girl has so many stories and they're all embarrassing, but this one takes the cake. I swear to God. Like, you guys are gonna probably judge me. I hope you don't, but with these tatas I'll probably make up for it. Nah, just kidding. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyways, like, subscribe, and put the little ling bing bing bell thingy, turn it on, because if not you're gonna miss my notifications for this channel. So this takes place back in the day when me and my ex-boyfriend were off and on. I was going through a rough time. Basically because of all the bullshit he put me through, and it was a lot to go into my little teen self. It was just too much, so I was trying to do anything and everything to just get over him, move past him, fucking, I don't know, party. I was trying to do the most. I was always trying to do whatever I could to just not think of him, and it was very hard, but I did the most. So I met this girl on Facebook. Obviously back then, you guys know I was Facebook famous, and I knew this girl because she was always liking my pictures. She was very pretty. I noticed her right off the bat. She was very pretty, and I like to hang out with pretty girls. I was just one of those girls that appreciates beauty, and I'm always like up to like meet new people, so I was very open with her. I told her I wanted to make new friends, and I was done with the old ones. They were all there was too much drama with that type of friendship I had, and I was just trying to make new friends. And she was like, yeah, I'm down, let's meet up, let's hang out. So it turns out that she went to the same school that my ex went to. So I was very mad, because I was like, oh my God, I can't just like get a friend and just move the fuck on from this guy. Everywhere I go, like, I turn and his name's there, or somebody knows him, and it was just too much. But this girl, I couldn't just be like, nah, I ain't trying to hang out with you because you go to the same school as my ex. That's kind of fucked up. So I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to give her a chance and still be her friend. I was still trying to chill with her, so we hung out. We said we would meet up on Friday, and we did, and we went to a house party, and everything was great. She was so cool. I loved her. Let's name her Elizabeth. And she was very fucking cool. She was very pretty. She was very down. She was not ratchet. She was one of those girls that you just hung out with and you weren't afraid to be like backstabbed. She was very calm. Our friendship grew. We started hanging out almost every weekend. She didn't even live that far from me. She lived like maybe a couple blocks, and we would hang out all the time. I would go to her house, she'd come to mine, we'd talk about everything, and she ended up being kind of my closest friend at the time. I stopped hanging out with a lot of people, and I just focused on her pretty much. And we were always hanging out, and so one day she hits me up and she's like, I want to go to a hookah bar. And I was like, okay, cool. So we went to this hookah bar, and we went with another couple of friends, and she introduced me to one of her friends that she was very close to, and me and her really didn't click. Let's name her Jasmine. She did not like me. I didn't like her. She just thought the worst of me. She didn't like her hanging out with me. She thought that she was just so fucking rude, and I didn't fucking like her. So I ended up telling her that. I was like, I'm not trying to hang out with you, with this girl, so whenever we do hang out, I want to just hang out with just you and me, basically. And she was like, okay, whatever, doesn't matter. We're cool with that. So we started hanging out separately, and me and this girl were so close that she was like pushing away that girl. That was her like friend from a long time. She pushed this girl away because of me, basically. And I just wanted to say this because she makes a little intro at the end of my story, so just remember her, okay? So then me and her would hang out all the time. We would go to this hookah bar. At the end of the day, me and her would hang out so much, and this weekend was coming up, and I was trying to turn up. I had a bad week. I knew so much shit that was going on about my ex that I didn't even want to think about. Like, it was just too much, and I told her, I was like, girl, I'm trying to get fucked up. Basically, I told her I wanted to go to this hookah bar and meet some guys and just get fucked up. So she was like, I'm down, whatever. She had a boyfriend. She had a recent boyfriend. They had just got together, and I knew about it, but I just didn't think that anything of it. I didn't think anything. So she was okay with it. She was still down to go out, and so I was just like, okay, cool. So we went out, we went to this hookah bar and we met up with some guys and some friends, some girls, and we hung out. We were just drinking, partying, basically just having a good time. I started getting a little tipsy and one thing led to another, and girl, let me tell you, I started making out with her. I was that drunk. When you start noticing that I'm getting a little tipsy and there's a girl around me, I'm gonna probably make out with her. But that's what happened. I just started hanging out and I was just getting drunk. I was getting drunk, I'm not gonna lie. I was getting drunk and I started making out with her, and I tell her, let's go to the restroom because I need to puke. Like, I told her that, and she's just like, all right, let's go. So we went to the restroom. I didn't puke, but I was telling her, I was pouring out my feelings. I was crying. I was like, why is he like this? Like, why is my ex like this? Like, why can't he just love me? What's wrong with me? And she's like, girl, you're so beautiful. I don't know why. Yada, yada, yada. Like, basically just like feeding me all this good stuff that you just don't do to a drunk person, because then you want to like slobber all over them. She grabs me by my face and she fucking starts making out with me hardcore, and we're making out in this fucking restroom for about 20 minutes because there's people knocking on the door checking if we're okay, and we're making out like hot and heavy. Like, it was just crazy. And no, I'm not a lesbian. I was just bi-curious. I don't freaking know. You just experiment sometimes. So I was just making out with her, and I don't even want to say it. One thing led to another, and she starts going down on me, and I'm just like, oh my fucking god, girl, stand up, because I've never had a girl do that, like, ever. So I was freaking the fuck out, and I was just like, oh my god, did I shave? Do I smell good? Like, what? Because girls judge more than guys. Like, it's just a girl thing. Like, we all know about our own private parts, and we know. So I was just like, oh my god. And she's going down there, and as she's ready to pull my panties down, I'm just like, oh my god, I've never done this before. And she's like, yeah, me either, but I'm feeling you. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm fucking freaking out in my head. So I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I let her do her thing, and I'm feeling it, and I'm just like, oh my god, like, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm doing this. So I'd stop her after a while. Like, yeah, it was a long while, but I stopped her, and I was just like, stand up, and I was just like, let's go back out there because we're getting a little too ratchet, girl. And she's like, okay. So we go out there, and we're trying to just play it off, and everybody knows that we were doing something. They're like, what took you so long? Blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we're just fixing up our makeup. So we sit down, and I'm basically just still drunk, and I'm still taking shots after shots after shots. And she sits on my lap, and I'm just like, oh my god, this girl is not trying to stop. Like, you know, I'm the type of girl that I was curious, but I wasn't too curious. Like, I wasn't trying to like have sex with a girl, basically. I was just trying to, like, you know what I'm saying? So when she started sitting on my lap, I was like, oh my god, is this girl trying to make this like official? Is she trying to, like, you know, like be with me? So she starts touching up on my legs and starting to do stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is too much. So I finally tell her, I was just like, hey, I'm trying to like convince her that there's this other guy I want to hang out with that I really liked at the time. And she's like, okay, so what do you want to do? And I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go meet up with him. He's going to pick me up. So I was basically trying to tell her, you can go home now. Like, I wasn't trying to like bring her with me, but she tags along. This girl decided, like, I didn't even say, hey girl, let's go. I was just basically telling her, I'm going to meet this guy. So this was fun. See you later. And she was just like, okay, well, I'm going to come with. And I was just like, in my head, I was like, what are you going to do? Like, what do you expect? What do you think is going to happen? Like, you want to be the third wheel? So anyways, I can't say no. So I was like, okay, fine. So the guy picks me up, and it's the guy that I told you guys about on the Facebook famous guy. Yeah, that's the guy. This is kind of like the story about the time I hung out with him after all that shit happened. So, he picks me up, and oh my god, I don't even want to tell this story. I need a moment. He picks me up, and she gets in the back seat, I get in the front seat, I say hi to him, we're kissing, just like, you know, regular, hi, how you doing, mwah, mwah. And he starts driving. He's like, okay, so where am I dropping off your friend? Because he knew that we were gonna hang out, you know, and we weren't trying to have her like be, you know, cock blocking. I don't know. So she's just like, no, I'm coming along wherever y'all are going. I'm going. That's my girl. So I'm following her, and I'm just like, okay. And he's like, oh, okay, I guess. So we went to the movies, and I remember that I was so drunk that I didn't even know what movie I was watching. And we started making out, me and him. It was just a ratchet ass fucking night. And now that I look at it, I'm fucking nasty. Like, I'm so gross. Like, how did I know? I just. Ah! We end up going to his house, and she's sitting in the living room, and I'm just like, ugh, just go to sleep. Like, I was praying she went to bed. And so she falls asleep eventually, and me and him go to his room, and we're watching a movie, and we're getting hot and heavy, and I started getting like nauseous because I had just finished drinking, and I guess it was like hitting me. And so he's just like, why don't we just chill out for a little bit and we can just take a little nap. So we took a little nap, and I remember waking up, it was like 3 a.m. because I checked my phone. It was like 3 in the morning, and I was like, oh my God, like, what am I still doing here? Like, I just wanted to go home basically and just shower and go to sleep. So I wake him up, and I'm like, hey, can you just go drop me off? Like, I'm not feeling good. He's like, yeah, are you sure? And he was very gentleman. Like, he was nice. He was nice. He was just like, are you sure? And I was just like, yeah, I just don't feel good. He's like, I want to take care of you. You know how guys are. And so I was just like, no, I want to go home. And he's like, all right, let me go get my keys. So he goes and gets his keys, and I don't know how this escalated to what I'm about to tell you, but girl, oh my God. So Lisbeth starts walking, barging in, and she's just like, hey, can I sleep in here with you guys? Like, I'm very sad right now. I'm trying to have like a night with this guy, but I was already leaving, and I'm just like, we're leaving. Like, I just want to go. And she's like, no, 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 no. Like, I'm not feeling like getting in the car and driving. Like, I'm so like drunk, and I feel like throwing up, and I'm just like, ugh. So she lays down, she falls asleep like immediately, and I'm just like, oh my God. So now I'm not going home, and I tell him, I'm like, oh, she came in here, she laid down, like she don't feel good. He's like, it's all right, let's just go to sleep basically. And I'm just like, okay. So he sleeps on the side of me, I'm in the middle, and she's on the side of me. So I wasn't sleepy anymore, and neither was he, and we started kissing and making out, and tell me why Lisbeth wakes up. She wakes up, and she's just like, oh my God, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, nothing. It was just awkward because she woke up, and we're like, oh, nothing, we're just chilling. And she's just like, oh my God, I just love you so much. And she grabs my face, starts making out with me again, and I'm just like, I push her away. I'm like, no, I'm not feeling it right now. And she's like, no, 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 like, am I ugly? And so she starts kissing me again. And so I'm like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And so she like gets on top of me, takes her fucking shirt off, her nipples, her boobs, everything's out, and I'm just so embarrassed. Like, I can't believe this guy's like looking at this. Like, it's fucked up because I feel like she was just trying to take my man. Like, I don't fucking know, but she was just like doing the most to show him like her shit. I don't fucking know. And he's like, oh, and he starts smiling, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, let me find out. I'm gonna be like, he's gonna leave me for her, like, what the fuck? So I'm just sitting there, and she's like rubbing on her boobs, and I'm just like, oh my God, girl, like, get off. So she like grabs his hand, puts it on her chest, and he's like, oh, no, like, don't do that. And so he like pulls away, but she brings it to her chest again. She's like, do you like my boobs? And like, he's like, yeah, they're nice. And I'm just looking at him like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So I like scooch on out, and I'm just like basically like third wheeling now, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? In my head, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So she's like basically just sitting there, and he's touching her boob, and I'm just like, oh my God. And he's like, come over here, don't go away. And I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna go over there. And he's like, just come over here. So he like brings me in and starts kissing me, and he like touching her boob. So there's a full-on threesome about to happen right now. Starts touching her, you know what, her private parts. And I'm just looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, I thought he was sweet, and he's not. I guess he thought that this was the plan, that we were gonna have a threesome. I don't fucking know. And he starts touching her shit, and she's touching his, and I just get up, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna be in the living room. She basically did him in front of me. She did him the nasty. She gave him the you know what. And I'm just standing there looking at it. And I just get up and fucking go to the next room. And I call one of my friends. And I'm like, can you pick me up? And he's like, yeah, where are you? And he was one of my closest gay friends. Like, he was really cool. And he was just like, girl, the things you get into, like, sometimes, like, I just wonder. I'm like, yeah, I know. What the fuck? So I basically was like, you know what? I pieced the fuck out. And I told him, I was just like, bye, bitch. Like, I ain't doing this ever again. Don't hit me up. Fucking keep my friend. Like, she's a slut for doing it. I don't care how drunk you are. You know in the back of your head, like, you know certain things you're doing. I was drunk, and I knew what the fuck I was doing. And I was basically like, what the fuck? Like, how do you do that? So I was about to have a threesome with them, and I was not feeling it. And I think that was the point. God was like, you're not okay to do stuff with this guy on your own or with anybody else. Like, just keep yourself sane. Just keep yourself okay. So I ended up leaving with my friend, and I never heard from her. And then her friend, the one I told you guys about, Jasmine, hits me up, and she's just like, thanks to you, her boyfriend broke up with her, and you're a bitch. You're a fucking nasty ass slut. Like, only you would fucking take my friend to go have a threesome. And I'm just like, bitch, what the hell? So I wrote her a whole fucking paragraph telling her that her friend, she needs to look at her friend because she's nasty, and she fucking started the thing, and she was trying to do it, and she ended up being the last one there. Like, ain't nobody did anything. All I did was kiss the guy, and then I didn't feel like doing anything nasty because she was being so... Woo! She was being so crazy, and I told her, I was like, I am not part of this, so you can go tell your friend that it's her fault her boyfriend broke up with her. Like, she shouldn't have been out in the first place. Like, bitch, like, the fuck? So me and her had a fucking argument, and she tried to fight me. Like, don't try to fight me. Don't try to fight your friend's battles. Like, your friend was a fucking nasty whore that just went out and did that. Like, it's not my fucking fault. So yeah, that's the time that I almost had a threesome, and I almost got beat the fuck up because this bitch wanted to fight me. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I just have a bad time with guys. I just do. Like, really, I do. Like, what the fuck? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Give it a like and a subscribe button and whatever else you want to give it. So I love you guys so much, and muchas gracias por venir. Muchos besos. Bye.